Public land use control is given to the government through police power. But there's another type of land use control that you'll definitely run into, and that's private land use control. These are typically associated with homeowners associations where the builders or developers place specific restrictions on property. These restrictions are usually referred to as covenants, conditions, and restrictions, or CC&Rs. They also might be called bylaws, house rules, or master deeds. CC&Rs are formal, recorded, private limitations on the use, appearance, and maintenance of property within the designated area. Almost all common interest properties like condominiums, cooperatives, and gated communities use CC&Rs. Some restrictions covered include house color, landscaping and maintenance, on-street RV parking, and noise restrictions. Others can be more specific, such as whether residents must use a pool cover or what type of dog they may own. CC&Rs can only be created by agreement, and those lasting more than a year must be in writing. All affected owners need to expressly agree to CC&Rs, and once agreed to, they're legally binding. Because it's important to make sure that restrictions on a property fit in with a prospective buyer's expectations, a review of the CC&Rs is typically part of a real estate sale. Remember though, determining the legal effect of specific provisions is considered the practice of law, so it's beyond the professional scope of a real estate licensee. If a client has specific questions regarding legal rights and remedies conferred by CC&Rs, you should refer them to an attorney. Another type of private land use control is a deed restriction. These restrict the use of a property in some way and are actually listed in the deed. Developers often restrict parcels in a development to maintain a certain amount of uniformity. A deed restriction limits the use of land, but not the owner's ability to transfer or sell the property. Restrictions that clearly go against public policy are unenforceable, such as those that violate fair housing laws. They're there to control the use of the property, not who can live on the property. Restrictions transfer with the deed, and removal of them usually requires legal negotiations. Deed restrictions are generally enforced by local law enforcement, and each property owner has legal standing to apply to local law enforcement or bring suit in court to enforce the restrictions. But property owners can also lose the right to request enforcement through the concept of laches, which means an unreasonable delay in asserting a right. For example, if a homeowner in a neighborhood covered by deed restrictions ignores a new house being built in violation of the restrictions and fails to bring suit against the builder or homeowner within a reasonable amount of time, they may lose the right to bring suit forever. Potential buyers need to be aware of land use, both public and private, so they can best determine whether a property is suited for their specific needs and desires.